Hey, what's up guys? Hades here. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great IB League season. It's time to announce what I think are going to be the top teams, the toughest groups, and just general power rankings for the start of the playoffs for this Season 5 IB League matchup. So, if you didn't know, you can pull up this matchup table, you click the listings, and change it to the diagram, and you get all the groups, and you can look at who's playing who, and I'm going to talk about each group, which ones I think are easy, which ones are hard, who I think will go through, and I'm going to contrast it with the tier list I made at the end of last season. Now, to take you through this if you haven't seen it before, S tier are the teams I think are the absolute very best, and each tier below kind of struggles against the ones above and beats the ones below, on average, usually. Of course, I am totally happy to see people play above their skill level, and it can happen. I've seen it before, but it doesn't happen all that often, and it's usually pretty accurate. Statistics don't usually lie, but everyone's changed teams. People have moved servers, we're all in different places, rosters change, people quit, new people move. So, time to talk about it again. Now, these are kind of the criteria I do for these lists. D tier is not bad at all. It's just they can't really beat the people above them, but they can usually beat anyone else. Now, this list here is just to help me find the teams based on their list in the group. So this is their group number. So SF5, I'm in group 5, I can look here. And the coolest thing is I can go to records and check stats, right? So stats are how I usually make a good determiner of what's what. Now, no surprise, these aren't moving. We played each other twice, we were both undefeated. We beat Buns, they beat us. We've all known this. People who keep up with the Ivy League scene know that these are the top two teams. I'm not changing it, and I don't think much would sway my opinion. I don't think either team has had a hard match in a while, and I don't think anyone's quite close. But I will be discussing, changing, flipping, moving some of these, and deleting a few because some of them just don't exist. Now again, I don't want to offend anyone. I'm not like super up to date with name changes or whatever. But a few of these teams I could not find, or they just didn't make it, or whatever. And they're gonna get deleted off the list. And I'll probably add some maybe halfway through the tournament if I see any standouts. So let's start off SSQ in Group 7. So checking the records, they went 6-1. They lost to us pretty hard. Usually my factor for points in a loss, you need to get 40 to 50,000 to consider it like a strong match or a strong showing. They scored well against Lions, very close match. A few decided wins, a few free wins. Not bad. I think I'm going to keep them in the A. They maybe moved to B. They didn't have a very good showing versus us, but Lions is a pretty solid team and they're pretty even. But that's going to keep pace here because they are still in the same echelon. We'll move them around as we see fit in the future. AOW's in Group 6. Looking at their stats this season. Handily beat Fate. Didn't really fight anyone of note. I mean, I know a lot of their players. I think they were going easy this season just to make it in. I'm not going to move them, but based on those stats, I would probably drop them down a tier. But I know they have some of the best players in the game, so I'm not going to touch it right now. I'm going to maybe just slide it over to the side and see where we go. Next, Lion, Group 4. Lions have been a pretty up and down team. They're one of the newer teams that's kind of made their way in the top 10. They went 7-1, a decent win here, decent win, They had that close loss to SSQ, and then they didn't really have any tough challenges. And as you can see, they kind of crush everyone they face except for this close match, which makes sense because there would be on par here. I'm gonna just put them next to each other. I think they're very close in power levels. Next be PRD, Group 4. By the way, Group 4 is absolutely the group of death. PRD, Vex, Lion, AOSK, Lions Alt. I mean, there are some pretty solid teams here. This is not going to be an easy group. This is by far the strongest grouping that I saw on my first look through. PRD. Records. They lost to IPK twice. And they lost to Buns. But a pretty close match versus Buns. Very close match to IPK. And then not so close there. No notable victories elsewhere. This is a pretty decent showing. But not very good. And I don't have IMPK here. I'm going to have to add them to the list, and we'll add them at the end because they have some pretty notable wins in the top. PRD being one of them. I'm actually going to drop them down just a bit. I don't think they performed all too well this season. Fix that up. Okay, let's go Vex next. Same group, Group 4. 6-2. They lost to Buns, got 50k. They lost to us, got 40. I mean, Buns and SF are the top two teams. Getting, like I said earlier, 40 to 50k is kind of that sweet spot. They beat IMPK, they beat AWG, they beat some notable names. I'm actually gonna bump them up. I'm dropping PRD 1 and I'm gonna bump up Vex 1. I think this is appropriate for the situation. I think statistically this would, be pretty logical. Look at NG, rank 2, or excuse me, Group 2. See how they did this season. 5-3, not good. Crushed by Lions. No notable victories. Crushed by Cubs. Beat by, yeah, this is not good. This is a collapse of a team. I'm gonna have to drop this very low. We might drop this all the way down to D. I'll fix it in a little bit as we get going. Next one, Group 7. Where's it? Here they are. Can't read it, but they did lose at AOSK. No notable victories. Lost to Knights. This is very bad. AOSK is not a super high ranked team. Knights of Gondor is not very high ranked. I mean, they're here and here, and they lost to both. They might have to go into the D tier with NG. We'll see. Fix the graph a little bit. Let's go down to GSI in 8. Check their records. They lost to AWG and no notable victories. This is not very good. 3-1. I'm actually just gonna remove them. That's not quite enough to see. And I know a lot of these players left, so I'm actually just gonna remove them off the list. Knights of Gondor in the 3rd group. Check their ranks. Hard loss to Cubs. Play in the 20s. Not very many solid teams here. None of these are quite notable. They're about C. I'm gonna keep them there. Eden, I could not find, and I saw quite a few losses from them. Fury no longer exists. Next would be HMB. It's in Group 3. Checking their records. They win 6-2, but they lost to Cubs. 40k is not terrible against a good team. 40k against IMPF, which is basically IMPK. No notable victories. Playing at 2000. 2000 is notoriously weaker. I think most people know that all the top teams play at 14, and then kind of side teams or secondary teams play at 20. This isn't bad though. I would actually put this a little bit higher, maybe in the C tier. Putting up some decent points against people above them. I couldn't find 13RU. Maybe they changed names, maybe they're not there, I don't know. AOSK was in group 4. Checking their records. They did beat a team that's on the list. They lost F8. They got crushed by SF. Not too good. I think I'll just keep them here. I don't think they deserve too much higher. AOSK in group 4, that same tough group I was talking about. This group has a lot of tough teams from last season. Oh wait, sorry, Orca. Orca group 2. Right here. Lost to HMV bad. No notable victories and only 4 games. For me, 4 games is not enough. If you only play 4, you don't deserve to be on this list. JJ, I could not find them. NG was gonna go here, and along with the gods, I believe this team I wanted to put D. And AWG is in rank 8, or group 8. Record 6-2. They lost to Vex pretty hard. They lost IMPK pretty hard, but a pretty decent showing. 30-40 is not terrible. And then IMPK is the last one. They have their alt alliance, but I'm not including alt alliances. Right here. They beat PRD pretty hard. They lost to Vex but played well. They beat PRD again. They played Buns, and actually that 70k is quite high. I'm gonna place them based on these stats probably in the B tier. I mean, they put up some very good fights and they beat PRD, so they're above PRD for sure. We gotta switch these. There we go. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this list as is. If I see any notable mentions, I will add it and probably update you guys on GT Arcade. If you think I missed one off the list or you don't agree with something in here, let me know in the comments below, because this is a tier list. This is my opinion. I base it on stats and feeling when I play them or watch them, because I watch all of these teams. I do my research. I'm very well informed in terms of skill levels for the most part, but I want to keep you guys up to date and make sure you guys know what the power levels are. And if you want to be in this list, you have to perform at the level of at least these players at the bottom to make that list. I think there are probably a couple of teams that would make it on this list in the next week or two. Just keep in mind it's double elimination. You get 2 losses. There's a right side to the bracket. If you didn't know that, or this is your first time and you're new to a server, make sure you win as much as you can. And if you don't, you get a second try, and that second try is a little easier because it is 2 out elimination. But I want to see those comments. Who do you think is going to win this season? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.